Hey there, NBA fans. It's your boy Mike here. Today I want to talk about the Milwaukee Bucks, the team who I currently still believe are one of the top two teams in the Eastern Conference, competing with the Philadelphia 76ers. These are the two teams I believe are going to meet in the Eastern Conference Finals this year. However, the Bucks this season, after being first in the East the last 2 years, have not exactly looked like the unstoppable regular season juggernaut that they once were. And so I want to look at the Bucks this year and try to figure out why exactly they've been so off. And it's not that they've been bad necessarily, because the Bucks are currently 11-8 and they are third in the Eastern Conference. But 11-8 is not exactly what most of us, certainly what I, expected from the Milwaukee Bucks coming into this season. I figured they were about to have another dominant regular season. I figured they would once again be the clear number one seed. But that's not what's happening. They are really struggling right now. They're barely ahead of the Celtics and Pacers, and they are barely behind the Nets. The race for the 2nd through 5th seed in the East is really close right now, and even though the Bucks could reclaim the 2nd seed without too much trouble, it also wouldn't be very difficult to see them falling all the way to 5th, especially with two recent losses to the Pelicans and to the Hornets. Alright, so with the context out of the way, let me start actually looking at this team right now. The Milwaukee Bucks currently have the two-time reigning MVP, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and even though he's doing slightly worse than he was last season, he absolutely is still putting up borderline MVP level numbers at the moment. 28 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, along with a steal and a block, and he's doing this on 55% from the field. Now his 3-point percentage at 28% and his free throw percentage at 59% are both atrocious. Straight up. For an MVP, or even for just an average starting player, those are terrible numbers, okay? Those are the numbers you would expect to see from Dwight Howard, not from the guy who won the last two MVPs. However, Giannis doesn't take a lot of threes, and even with his atrocious free throw percentage, 59% on 10 attempts a game, like that really is awful, and I think that's going to be more of an issue in the playoffs. Giannis still has an overall effective field goal percentage of 59%, so it's really not hurting him too bad. As his co-star, Khris Middleton is having, once again, an underrated season. He's a player I fully expect to be an all-star. 21, 6, and 6 on 51% from the field, 44% from 3, and 93% from the free throw line. Sorry I hesitated there, I was looking at a different stat for him. In case all of you hadn't noticed this, by the way, or in case I haven't mentioned this before, when I'm going over these guys' stats, I'm literally just reading down the basketball reference list. So if I screw somebody up, it's usually because I'm looking at the dude right ahead of them. Just if you ever catch me saying some guy's stats wrong, that's what's happening. But with that said, Khris Middleton, he's been great, alright? Hella efficient, 50-40-90 season once again, 21 points a game. Dude's killing it. Also, 6 assists might be a career high for him. He's currently leading the team in assists. He's just been ballin'. Alright, Khris Middleton, I don't know why people are so low on him. A lot of people, it seems to be a general opinion that CJ McCollum is better than Khris Middleton, and I just strongly disagree with that. Like, I don't understand why everyone sleeps on this man. He's playing great. Jrue Holiday, giving the Bucks exactly what they wanted, as far as I'm concerned anyway. If I'm a Bucks fan, I'm very happy with Jrue Holiday. 16 points, 5 and 5, along with 2 steals, and a very nice 47% from the field, 37% from 3. Dude's efficient, dude's giving you points, he's passing some, he gets a couple rebounds. He's been great, alright, and he's been pretty solid enough on defense. Brook Lopez doing his thing, 11 points a game, 36% from 3, which is pretty solid for a center. Only 5 rebounds a game, which is weird, but when Giannis is averaging 11, I guess it really doesn't matter, especially when Middleton and Holiday are also both getting 5 to 6 rebounds a game. Doesn't really matter. Finishing out the starting lineup, we have Dante DiVincenzo. Very nice young player. I really expected the Bucks to force a trade for him, simply because they almost traded him before, and generally that doesn't go well. But it seems like he's doing just fine there. 9 points a game, 39% from 3, that's really all you need from him, and the same thing can be said for most of their bench guys. Even if their numbers aren't eye-popping, Bobby Portis is the best guy on the bench with 11 points a game, and then you got a couple other guys, Pat Connaughton, Augustine, Forbes, Wilson. These guys don't have crazy numbers. They're all between like 6 and 9 points a game, but they are all shooting well from 3. 44% from Portis, 45% from Connaughton, 39% from Augustine. Forbes and Wilson are both shooting about 44%. Like, these guys are just hitting their threes, and that's all you really need out of your bench for this Bucks team. And they're not awful defenders. Some of them aren't great, but they're decent enough defenders when you see them play. None of them are absolutely like murdering you out there. So what's up with the Bucks right now? They should be amazing, right? And yes, if you go up and look at them, they are the number 1 offense in the entire NBA right now, which is not insane to me, but I really would have thought it was someone else, maybe the Lakers, maybe the Clippers even, but for the Bucks to be the number 1 offense, that is phenomenal, and it really shows that Jrue Holiday did help this team out on the offensive end. He gave them what they needed, and I think it's going to be big in the playoffs. They are 2nd in the league in field goal percentage, they are 4th in the league in three-point percentage, they're 2nd in rebounding, 7th in assists. They just look like a great team. So, what the hell's wrong with them? Well, I'll tell you exactly what's wrong with them. Despite being 1st in offense, which is an improvement from last year, they have fallen off a cliff on the defensive end all the way to 17th. 17th! Now, that's not an awful defense by any means, and it's not like this is an awful team by any means. They do have a winning record by multiple games. Third seed in the East. But the Bucks were consistently one of the top 2 defenses in the league last season. I believe they did finish as the number 1 defense. If not, it was them and the Lakers. They were neck and neck all year. For them to fall all the way to 17th is kind of crazy to me, and I really don't know what happened. Giannis is still a great defender. I think he's been a little worse than he was last season, no doubt. But he's still elite. Like, the dude's still like an all-defense candidate, in my opinion. Chris Middleton is an above-average defender. Jrue Holiday, well, certainly not the all-defense candidate that he used to be, is still an above-average defender. Lopez is a good rim protector. The dude gets almost 2 blocks a game. And then the other guys on the team, nobody jumps out to me as just like a god-awful defender. Okay, DiVincenzo's not a good defender. And you got some other guys in there who aren't great, but like, Bobby Portis is okay as like a backup center, and then some of these other guys like Wilson and Forbes, like they're not awful defenders, even if they're not like good by any means. I'm not going to call them awful. So I don't really know why this team has been so bad on defense. Their bench isn't great by any means, but it's not so awful that I would think it would offset having 4 plus to very plus defenders in the starting lineup. Giannis, Holiday, Middleton, and Lopez should be enough to make this team a top 10 defense, in my opinion. Great rim protector. Giannis is arguably the most versatile defender in the league. He's fantastic. Jrue Holiday is a great defender on the perimeter, and Chris Middleton is an above-average defender against forwards. I don't really know what's happened with this team. I don't know if they're just not trying as hard, they're saving their energy for the playoffs, or, I really don't know what has happened with the Milwaukee Bucks. But, in my opinion, Bucks fans, it's not really a reason to worry just yet, I don't think. Yeah, the defense has been pretty sus, okay? 17th is certainly not the defense you would want out of a contending team, even if you do have the number 1 offense. You really want to be top 10 in both. However, just looking at the talent on this team and the fact that Budenholzer is known as a very good defensive coach, at least he has been recently, I'm pretty confident that the Bucks are going to get it together on defense. Not saying they're going to be, a top defense in the league once again, but I would be pretty surprised if they don't end up top 10 by the time the playoffs roll around. Or at the very least, they aren't able to turn it on in the playoffs when they need to, because they just have great talent. Once again, that's starting 4, okay? Even with DiVincenzo in there being a not good defender, you look at Giannis, Lopez, Middleton, and Holiday. That's a great defensive quad, and I don't see any reason this team won't be a great defense with those guys. I also think it's possible Giannis is not quite going full throttle right now on defense. He might be trying a little bit less. I don't know exactly what's up with him, but we know he can be a little bit better on defense than he has been. I'm just not worried about the Bucks. Or I would say, from a Bucks fan's perspective, I am not worried about the Bucks. As a fan of the Philadelphia 76ers, they still scare me. I fully believe, and the Sixers have been amazing, okay? I'm recording this after an absolutely insane win over the Indiana Pacers. For those of you who didn't see it, I'm not going to lie, I went into the game expecting us to get our asses beat because we didn't have Joel Embiid. We came back in the fourth quarter, absolutely phenomenal game. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. But I'm a fan of the Sixers, right? I think that their biggest threat, the reason that the Sixers may not make the finals, is the Milwaukee Bucks. And it's kind of hard to tell this early in the season still, but I really do think the Bucks and the Sixers are the two teams most likely to make it out of the East. I don't believe in the Nets. They don't have enough defense or depth for me. I do not believe in that team. The Heat, even though they have had a lot of injuries, I think they're just a little bit worse than they were last season. They've got some issues aside from just the fact that they've had a billion injuries. The Celtics, I don't know what's up with Kemba Walker, but if he doesn't come back and the fact they don't have a good big man, don't really believe in them. And the Pacers do not have a superstar, which leads me to believe that it is between the Bucks and the Sixers. And right now, I do not think it's unfair as a Sixers fan to count on them simply because the Bucks defense has fallen. But I'm still scared of the Bucks. I'm still very scared to meet the Bucks in the playoffs. I hope to avoid them until the Eastern Conference Finals. They are not a team I want to face because I really do think they're going to get it together. That is my opinion on the Milwaukee Bucks, alright? Their defense may have fallen off, but I do not think it's a permanent thing. I think that when it comes playoff time, they're going to turn that defense on, and they are once again going to be an elite team on both ends of the floor. Scary team. Scary team to me. I think it's them or the Sixers in the finals against the Lakers, alright? That's my prediction as of right now. Alright guys, so with that out of the way, that is my opinion on the Milwaukee Bucks this season, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you would please like it, if you did enjoy, I would really appreciate it. Leave the comments, let me know what you think, tell me if you don't think the Bucks are the best team in the East, who do you think it is? I'm just telling you right now, if you think it's the Nets, you're wrong, but you can feel free to let me know in the comments anyway. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We are growing phenomenally right now. It is extremely hyped to me. 124 subs as I'm recording this, and I'm hoping it'll be larger by the time this video uploads. So thank you once again for watching, really appreciate it, and I do so hope that you enjoyed.